Is this now the time to bring out the back pocket, the wild card style composition, or if you're the Scarabs, are you going back to more tried and true approaches?
Yeah, I would worry about an over-adjustment here. I would like them to see what they're playing against, see what they can take away, maybe look to take away that Tiamat, and just look to play the Smite that they've been playing. I don't want to see a huge switch up. We could see like Hades solo or something out of solo or troll,
yeah, maybe.
But I'm personally hoping they keep to what is in the meta and what's strong for them. But it looks like they've stuck to second pick side.
Yeah, you're right. They are on second pick here. The Odin picks and the Medusa picks have been very popular for the Solar Scarabs when those two have fallen.
This is a strong pick. Kali can work. I mean, if you have the right team come into it.
Or Osiris, rather, is the word I'm looking for. Osiris was the adjustment that Taurus Titans made. And the Odin pick for Benji looked pretty good there in game number 3. Hell and Erlang Shen, they've been banned out all set long. And the Osiris will continue to get banned away. So Taco, now we're 4 games in, four first phases of bans in to this best of 5 set. We've seen very minimal adjustments in the first wave, but a reaction out of the Kama.
The banned Kama?
It's just the fact that Paul, he first picked the Tiamat in the last game.
Were you hoping to see a Tiamat?
I mean, there's a big Tiamat again, and then they just go unkillable guards again.
Force him onto something different. And
I think, by the way, Solar Scarabs can top 2.
Have the conversation of teams that learn to adjust throughout a set. This is my biggest fear for the Scarabs, is that they are a team that I think has so much potential, but can kind of get a little bit caught up in some short-sightedness. And it's not even so much, you know, the thought of, oh, we can handle the Tiamat, we just got to do this and this instead. It's realistically, you just don't want to let a player that's hot continue to stay on a pick for free.
This is not, I mean, I'm looking back at all 3 games, the drafts for all 3 games, the KDAs, the results from all 3 games, or yeah, 3 games up to this point. Paul leaves game 3 with a 626 GPM, which is like 30 higher than any other player has had at any point throughout this set in general from game number 3. So the Tiamat,
Achilles, Flex. Flex Achilles, you have a Fenrir. I mean, this is the problem here. You do end up getting the Gemoja. Right? But problematic situation here is that Fenrir is not bad into Gemoja, and Fenrir does good into Medusa. Why is the Medusa such a high priority for them? Is that for him to win lane? Stuart has been doing great on Medusa. Can't blame him. But is this enough? They're banning Charybdis. If Odin stays open and Scarabs pick it, I mean, that could be good.
Well, the only issue for Stuart that I've really noticed is that once it departs the laning phase period, Medusa's primary struggle is just finding her positioning in a team fight, because she is so vulnerable no matter where she's at on the map. She's a relatively easy guy to kill, especially when you're looking at the likes of a Tiamat, Achilles, and Fenrir, especially brutalized, being able to follow her through that lacerate if she tries to look for the escape. And the other thing is this Yemoja pick. It worked out so great for the Scarabs, I think, in their initial game 1, purely because of the fact that they had such an easy setup factor against that Amus and Ka. But now that the Titans can see it...
Charybdis Heim bans, I mean, I think those are fine. You ban Morrigan. Does Baronic go back to MILF? MLF? Walk on Lefay? It depends, man. Like, Fenrir seems to be doing great into Morgan Le Fay. I don't think the matchup in mid lane matters whatsoever. I think even if Morgan is good into Tiamat, I don't think Baronic is gonna get anything of value into the Tiamat as a pick.
Moving into game number 4, the second wave of bans start to roll through. Morgan and Morgan. Luckily, we don't have to deal with that one much longer. Both banned out by the...
What do you do? They banned the Morgan. Okay, that's fine. I mean, now we need to see Baronic or something he hasn't played. They picked the Odin here. I think the Odin should have been picked. That's the pick. Heim is banned now, Greyhound. Heim is banned now.
Also has the leap to get away from the Yemoja, but can be vulnerable to the Hunbats. He will be looking for something with a leap here, almost certainly. Odin locked in should confirm that. Cyclone Spin needs a way out the cage, needs a way out the Yemoja as well. As we see the O'Wheelish come through. Sam for Soccer was piloting that one previously, and the Scarabs didn't have too many problems with it, really.
No, Taco, Wheelix picked. You think outside of even just play around the Odin, you you think there's good opportunity for a Wheelix to find some value in this game?
I actually really like Layers whenever he runs down this Wheelish pick. This is something that has also stemmed way back to even his console days. So to see him rocking the Wheelish here now, I think there's a lot of consistent setup just because the Emoja, one of her primary forms of peeling the team, is Riptide. And a Wheelish playing into that Riptide, Solar Scarabs are going to have to be a little bit more cognizant of where this Wheelish is at before they look for those kinds of initiations or escapes. But I also really like this Izanami, not even just for the escape purposes, but she has a lot of shred potential through the Odin ring itself. So I don't think that the Odin is nearly as problematic. And if this is a Giannis lock-in for the Scarabs, I have some concerns in terms of the follow-up, because that was the one thing that I think hurt the Scarabs in the last game when they tried to utilize those Morgan
A Willix.
to Odin for themselves.
Okay,
Didn't really have anything
I'm not like
center of the cage.
I'm not a hater towards this. I think a Willix can be a good pick. I think if you have the momentum going and you have the pressure, Izanami, Fenrir, exit on pressure, Achilles solo into Odin. You're typical not too sad playing into Odin when you're Achilles. Especially if you have the pressure jungler, because then you're not gonna be caged into death all the time.
Season 8. There it is. Giannis was it. It was all the rage. And it is the potential final game of the year for the Solar Scarabs. You've got to win 2 straight to move on to the Smite World Championship.
It really
Here you go home. Your season is done.
yeah, I think the answer can be good.
Yeah, definitely.
I do like usually having some stand your ground into a wet Emoja on your team. But Janos is a guard that can survive against the Fenrir and actually survive. I don't think Janos is that bad right now. I actually like that pickup. Running has a good Janos too. And playing something you're comfortable with is also important.
I don't hate it, but Baronic's going to have to prove that it's good to all of us.
Right, Taco, does this
I think the CC from Scarabs is a bit inconsistent with having the Janos. And I think maybe you need something like a little bit more straightforward. Like you have to play around Humbert's ultimates, you're playing in Emoja cages. Do you have enough damage to kill the people you cage? That's kind of what you're hoping for, right?
Even at the professional level, yeah, it's a tough god to make work, and there is very little.
And Willix is one of the guards that has a lot of damage, a lot of pressure early game. That could be what they need, right? But if you're not by Nox and Tuck yesterday, I personally wasn't. We had Kaiwan into Nox. We had a counter. Chuck was a bit annoying laning phase when they had pressure on the jungle over the bastard, so they could steal the blue buffs and stuff. I'm not thinking we got thrown off guard by it. And I think we should have won the set as well.
On the Tiamat here, Hazer. Let's talk about this Titans composition quickly before we end up going into game. Tiamat, Achilles, Fenrir, Wheelix, Izanami. Where's the power curve with this team?
Early game. They got a lot of early pressure, and then later on in the game, they're going to go into that pick-based comp onto the front lines one more time.
Taco, do you think the Tartarus Titans have what it takes to close it out and move on to the Smite World Championship Finals?
It's really hard to deny a 3-1 finish here for the Titans with that kind of composition.
The way that the Titans have been playing in back-to-back games now, hard to see a world where they don't move on. The Scarabs, they have this never-give-up attitude, never go down. Can they bring it out here in Game 4? Let's find out.
This is either going to be the best Scarabs game we've seen all year, or, well, we're about to watch the Titans win 3-1, right? I guess it's only one or the other. Giannis on the world stage after, I'd have to look it up, but months it feels like, of him being completely devoid. Yeah. And that's from the people who loved it. I mean, he was one of the most banned gods versus the Scarabs and the Dragons for the longest time.
Yep.
So we know Baronic can play.
Alright, come on. Game 4.
Yeah, that's the real question, man. I mean, listen, Heroin and Baronic are two of the best Giannis players.
5 beats on Solar Scarabs. No meditation in solar lane.
But I just can't imagine.
No blink on the Humbats. Is the aggressive players gonna be there? Are they gonna be able to hold down the W key? We have double meditation on Titans. They have a blink on their relics to make those aggressive plays. We have an Aegis on Tiamat into the Humbats. It's a bit risky. But if you get a good pre-Aegis off, you get all the value. And a beast in Tsunami. What else do you really want to go there?
And Baronic, historically,
Early game pressure, I'm thinking Titan's gonna get a slight lead. They're gonna get both alphas here. I'm sure they're gonna get oracles as well. And I don't see Kumbats getting any gank off without having Blink. And also playing into pressure. I just don't see it happening. They even have to keep up modern mid camp now.
I'd still expect some phenomenal things out of it. This is the do-or-die moment for the Scarabs.
Damn, dude, now I'm thinking about it too. You know, it would have been the voice line like, when one door opens, another door closes, or you know, whatever it is, and then
Hey,
the
good
whole
luck
crowd
hearing
What do you do?
over that,
yeah, it would have been awesome.
Either way, this is a huge deal. Again, when you look at the Scarabs, I mentioned this at the end of the last game, but they are this team that realistically, even when they're down, and like you can tell they're like a little disheartened, but they're never really out of it, right? They view it as the next game, as the next opportunity, and they keep a good mentality. But there is a lot of pressure on this. Win, and you can at least prolong your stay in the World Championship. If you lose, the Titans go to the finals, and your year is done. Granted, a hell of a year nonetheless for the Scarabs. Also, this is definitely a lot of...
If Bernie wants to survive any gang, he's gonna survive any gang before level 5.
Solo lane, the beginning
Even when they both hit level 5, I think you can still survive it.
where else? But it doesn't seem like it's going to be the Achilles just yet.
No, it can't really ganks the duo lane because Izanami is just such instant pressure. I mean, No God outclears her. She can just sit here and be really, really strong. We saw Aurora kind of rotate around and run around a little
Hello
bit.
Ness, once again, I'm just eating the rest of my protein bar here.
Can't really go too aggressively. Cyclone
Too much thing and right.
still here.
They cannot have made blue buff.
Right-hand side, but just a level 3 Achilles even is too much for the Hunbats to take down. And the Scarabs, you know, I don't think that their composition really... I was saying game 1, they're all gas, no brakes, put the pedal to the metal. They haven't really drafted that way.
Maybe I lose the purple here.
In particular. And I don't think they
No.
have in this game because they just need to be able to get to the point where this Odin Cage is going to be
1 sec.
impactful, where this AoE from the Yamoja and the Hunbats can be impactful, and Stewart there as well. Their target selection is going to be key, and they're going to need damage from Baronic. I mean, you think about these last games that they've looked really
Anything different pick and bans, I mean, there's always stuff you can adjust. Game 1, I was generally happy if I were gonna win the game. Game 2, I mean, there's like a few changes you could make happen that could maybe increase your chance of winning like a little bit.
Already
Oh, they never invited in here.
on the builds because it has been very
I'm gonna get cage, but I think I really can counter gang this and they can actually survive. He meditate after the cage, maybe. Oh,
smash away.
they actually don't get in the kill.
First blood for Scream. And that's the first time this set they've been able to pull that
That's
their way.
rough for them.
huge to get a lead over here.
But maybe a few things are just
Unstoppable game 1, and Odin's the type of pick. I mean,
it's hard to say. Like
against when he had that Odin performance, but I'm sure they were.
there's definitely something you can always change to get in a better position.
that we saw from him this year. We've seen
But if you look at pick and bans, I'm not gonna look at the pick and bans and say we lost because of pick and bans.
giving Solar Patrol that early.
Is there something we could have done better? Is there something we maybe undervalued a bit?
He doesn't have beats,
Maybe.
So
But I generally don't think it changed a lot.
where is he? Right on back.
He's waiting. He knows that he can get right at the perfect angle again around the rock. Benji's not taking the
Yeah, Scream and Sut beats down for the gank.
This is the good
that word CM?
news.
Oh, it just
I do think that Titans need to get a little bit of early pressure going.
Should have a through sight right to where he was backing there in the jungle. So Benji stays safe this time around, but he still doesn't have beats.
Nope.
And Scream does still have ultimate.
Yep.
So that is always something. I think
It's hard to see inside the cage.
And I actually
Oh, because of the skin or what?
From the Scarabs. You don't need to force it. I think it is pretty free as long as there isn't ward coverage out, and Benji doesn't have any wards. Does have his vision shards, so can put one down, but there is nothing really to take. Blue buff's coming up. I would want to see them invade on that blue, but it seems like they're not going to do so. Scream's going to go back and farm his jungle. You know, Scream definitely lost a little bit by spending
Owning blue.
here on the right-hand side.
Definitely the right choice.
But
Make sure that
still, I mean, I think
Achilles doesn't feel too bad in lane against Odin, because you don't want Odin that gets too big.
actually follow up then on going for the blue buff invade. The thing that probably scares them, no beams on Scream and Solar Patrol. Benji got a 2-man stun in that Odin. They both use their
I do wonder if Villix is gonna be
not having those
strong enough.
beats against layers of
I could definitely see.
and Aurora's Fenrir
I think
there.
Layers. Did he used to play a lot of Villix?
risky invades at that case. So they're going to play.
I was gonna be Bill's fan. I appreciate that, Ness.
Scorpion on the right-hand side though, so enhanced buffs for them on the next respawn. And that's where things are going to be, I think, a huge point of contention. This Greater Scorpion On the left, Fury Pit.
Scorpion.
Titans pretty consistently.
There was on him. I don't think he's gonna get any gang off.
Stolen by the Scarabs in game
New blink that really looks good,
and it
but
feels like something the Titans, I don't want to say
but it's slow.
themselves on getting. It's just another neutral camp that they keep taking their way. They're going to get it this time as well. And that's just the small amount of experience that we've really seen add up. A lot of what they pick up throughout the game has been in that. The good news is that first blood plus the way the Scarabs have been farming, they still have a little bit of a lead.
Exactly. The Scarabs get that first blood, so they're in a pretty good position. You know, Solo Troll is noticeably ahead of Benji, probably a full level plus a little bit, since he's level 8, Benji just level 6. Benji, I assume, will hit 7 off this wave, but Solo Troll's in a very commanding position over here. Scream down about a half a level because I think that was well worth his time.
Layers caught out in the jungle. Solar Troll doesn't connect on the stun. It's going to back off right there. Scream is waiting, though, and has maybe a target in mind. Solar Troll is still playing aggressively.
Red Milk Smite. Thank you for the 5 months. Appreciate it.
Inbound maybe gets the memo a little bit too late. No, they're just going for Benji at this point. They're going to lock him down.
I do think it's crazy though. Ooh, he might survive if he gets meditation up now. Oh, yeah, that's ultimate hit. Scream is dead. No way. I mean, that's the thing. Like, soon Achilles is gonna be so tanky, they're not gonna be able to kill him anyways. Big fight going on here. I don't think more kills are gonna happen. I think Solo is fine. Oh, what? Wait, what? He jumped into them.
What a play from Aurora. Are you kidding me? I mean, Benji is 1 auto from death. Aurora jumps in, double stun.
That is crazy.
The meditation, and then that med healing gets him out of range from an insane snipe from Baronic that actually did hit Benji.
That is crazy.
But it just doesn't matter because that healing was good enough. What a play coming from Aurora and from Benji. A double kill for Aurora and well deserved for him. Paul makes it happen on that rotation. Layers is right on time, has a good ultimate to pull inbound back in. I mean, that play was so close, doing well for the Solar Scarabs. And then this door just gets slammed shut. I cannot believe this stun, man. I mean,
that ultimate was
for anything better. That is absolutely crazy. It's so crazy we couldn't show it to you a second time. It was
it's legally not allowed.
Yeah,
I didn't see the chat.
That is about as clean. Look, when you talk about Fenrir stuns, and you talk about the ones we've seen this year.
That's funny.
4-man unchains that have locked people up. But that might be the best one
that is
just
funny.
Because of the value. Yep. Not just the save, but the double kill on top of it. I mean,
that sucks they don't get that kill because they set up for it well with the cage, the Humbat's ultimate. They don't feel bad about that.
Some neutral objectives.
Was Janus when he sent the ultimate? I'm not sure, but he hit Achilles. That was close to killing Achilles. Do you guys know if Achilles has his armor on right now? I can't see on that skin. If that's armor or no. Not sure how the skins look with armor on, but honestly, I gotta see Achilles just putting on the armor soon. As long as you're able to clear and you got the armor on, you're not really gonna be a threat of dying. But typically, you wanna wait a little bit. Is there a Tsunami ultimate after? No way. That's the problem I said. Like, I generally don't believe Scarabs have enough pressure against the guards right now. Damn. They got the gangs there as well. I think if you play the Odin solo into Achilles, you need to have a winning jungle matchup. Like, you need a pressure jungler that like can confirm kill somebody in the cage. Don't armor on? Yeah. Whenever he puts his armor on, he's not gonna die. But right now, like, dual lane is losing pressure, Fenrir is an army. Rotating pressure, Fenrir is a bit better. Janus can rotate better than Tiamat, but I think Tiamat is just a bit harder to kill. I don't know if you can say they're throwing. I mean, you wanna kill the Achilles with the Odin. I don't think the Humbats is good enough to killing Achilles. And then with the Odin Yemoja, like Odin Yemoja is probably the best frontline you can pick in the game. You have double wall, you have heals, you can force a phantom. You have like insane kill pressure. But the guards around it, like is Janus that good with those guards? I think Janus needs like a support like Saket Not necessarily, like, you can play a lot of stuff with Janus, but you wanna be able to... I just took the damage here.
Down one more time. Fear no evil's good. There's no one to save
Meditation.
They have layers.
He's got cage. He's dead here, though.
He turns it around. He's looking for more damage, but he does get put down. Scream might lose.
He's alive. Nice. That is crazy. Oh, he didn't get a kill there. Solo is dead. Oh, the Fenrir damage is crazy. I don't think Fenrir is... Fenrir needs to be banned, and then you pick the Moja into Fenrir, which is a good guard. Into the guard. They got 4 kills? Damn.
In order to beat the Tartarus Titans, Aurora and the boys slam the...
I think if you get to late game and you're playing against Odin and Demoja, that is the best frontline you can have in the game.
And it's just dominance from this team in these team fights. Aurora is doing so much. Yeah. 4-0-3! For God's sake, in 11 minutes,
Is this game? I think so too.
He's not supposed to be able to do that to you. He's tied.
I think so too, unfortunately.
On the Solar Scarabs right now, and he's supposed to be getting the least amount of farm on his team.
Hello, Holly. What up, Time Master?
The difference right now, but it's not just him. You know, it's layers and
Titan has so much area control. Well, it will be Scarabs, right? But I think the area control with Demoja Odin is already enough. You don't need to add a Humbats on top of that. I don't think you need that. Is Paul just too good? I mean, Paul is insane. But I don't know if you can just put this on Paul. I don't think I'm looking at this game and then thinking like, holy shit, Paul is too good. I think Paul's played well. I don't always agree with his builds, but again, he's the mid laner, I'm not. But if I look at the builds and like the game where he didn't have Divine Ruin. If I put it on it, after game 1, Raw has played Fenrir the 3 games. We saw Fenrir yesterday, did good. I think Fenrir this game is... I think the Fenrir is insane. I'm a bit surprised with the amount of healing they have, that Fenrir is still going for the catch shield. I think catch shield is really good the more healing you have. He doesn't have beat, so he can't jump. Janus ultimate. Oh, Lea's got hit. I don't think... oh my... No way, he didn't insta-jump. No, Scream. Oh, he didn't insta-jump to it. That would have been a sick kill. Oh, that would have been such a good kill if he insta-jumped to it. Poor rotation, Scream's dead. Oh... I don't think Kid A should be looked at it like that. I do think Paul's position is always good and all that. But a Raw on Fenrir... I mean, I don't know. If I had to look at it, I would say a Raw getting to play the Fenrir 3 games is absolutely... That's criminal. Fenrir does good into the Demoja as well. It did good into the Saket picks. Their first pick in Medusa. Fenrir is an insane support into Medusa. I don't blame them though. Don't get me wrong. I'm not blaming them.
But then he only TPs once it hits the minion, and then he still pressed the ultimate. Nearly absolute insanity goes to disaster there for the jungler.
Now, hey, Fire Giant spawned up. We see a grouping from the Scarabs over here. Doubt that is on.
That could have been such a sick outplay from Scream.
Something to pull back in their favor. 9-2. Read the kills and
I mean, Hellas permabanned in every set. Leviathan's Kings, Hellas gonna be permabanned. Nobody's gonna let Hell through.
Again, equalizer. You need a little
Hell is OP right now.
For the Scarabs. You're down 5,000 gold, and you're starting to feel the weight of every amount of it. I mean, you're starting to see item differences between these two teams. Solar Troll has been at the forefront of the victories for the Scarabs, and right now he's at the forefront for the defeats so far.
I was a bit confused why they're going so hard for that kill. Raw cannot die anyways. Like, Raw is literally going catch shield with the amount of healing they have. He can literally just go Lono's Mask. He probably doesn't want to because he's kind of stumping and he wants a bit more damage as well. But if he just wants to be able to not die, he just gets a Lono's Mask and there's no way to kill him. Vegas, damn.
By Stewart, and he needed it because Cyclone Spin would have claimed that solo kill otherwise. How is it 0-0-0 over here for Stu? Cyclone 0-0-1. And Cyclone's up 3 levels. He's up 1,600 gold in net worth. I mean, this is clinical.
I don't blame him though, Holly, because I think Izanami's Fenrir probably at least goes even in lane against Umoja Medusa. But Avrilix wins the early game jungle, and Tiamat is like, what, a little bit equal to Janus. And then Humbert's put focus on the solo lane. And I don't know, man. I think you need a hard assassin carry around the Odin Umoja.
Whenever they take away an Oni Fury from you is a good way to signal that this game is not going your way.
Again.
And you're right to say, hey, at least we got the red buff, because that's something. But the Scarabs don't have a lot of options as to where to go for their farm. I mean, they are down so significantly in mid and in ADC. This backline, I mean, the Scarabs backline needs another 8 to 10 minutes worth of scaling in order to be anywhere near the ability to match the output of the Tartarus.
It's interesting though. I don't think Scarabs can come back from this game though.
Game where you're down by 6,000 gold already feels like a lot.
6,000 gold.
Because they can't even kill Achilles in the cages now. I assume Achilles almost just specs here and go defense stance.
I mean, it is very
Does he need to? Probably not. If he wants to be safe and don't die in a cage, fuck it, let's go. Let's go defense stance, and I'm gonna be so fucking tanky that he can't even touch him.
But to be
And
an
always around the
elimination
fire
game,
giant point.
it's true. Elimination game against the Titans, that would be something.
I'll just see if they're going to be able to do it. As time marches on for them. Pyromancer's available. Probably going to be an easy objective there for the Titans to scoop up. 4 towers standing on the Scarab side. 6 still up for the Titans. They haven't been touched. And honestly, all of the tier 1 towers are still pretty healthy at that. So the Scarabs need a lot to start going their way. But like I just said, and the way I always look at it, this is this first Fire Giant. Especially if it, waits until 30 minutes. If they can maintain 13 minutes at this, which isn't necessarily the best case scenario for you. But if you can get an enhanced FG, that makes things so much easier. So just trying to get to that point for the Scarabs.
What's gonna happen next?
Long shot, but still something they have to look forward to. Meanwhile, if you're the Titans, you just got another objective.
TM at level 20 soon. Izanami just got Death Embrace. Fuck it, you're level 20. Force the fire. What can they really do? Izanami can probably solo fire. He doesn't have the Wind Demon yet. If he has the Wind Demon, he can solo it. I don't know, he can probably stay alive with Assy Embrace. I think he can solo it. Obviously he doesn't need to solo it. Yeah, he can solo it.
He is starting it up. The Fire Giant's taking a little bit of damage, pulled off. There's going to be the Odin cage.
That's the cage down, Yena's ultimate down, Bravonic getting ran down. They cannot even touch the Fenrir. Like, you cannot even touch the Fenrir. What are you doing in this game?
Leap over the wall. The Scarabs stay alive, but they invest so much to do so. They're probably going to lose this Fire Giant.
4 ultimates to deal.
What do you do?
Maybe 1,200 damage total across.
How do you lock him down and kill him?
Titans, that is not going to be easy.
They still have double meditation ready.
He's going to try. He sees it. There's the blink. He's in the pit. The Fire Giant, the DPS is stopped. He has to leap out to stay alive, and he does not have a lot of health to work with. One more hit is all it will take. Fire Giant goes to the Titans, and Scream gets killed after.
Yeah, it's just going to be easy cleanup.
What do you do?
Players, the Tartarus Titans knocking.
Are you sick? It was super cold last night. So I think I got like a runny nose, kinda.
You're welcome for that Caster's Curse. You can check that off the bingo board. We're going to count that one. Benji, a little bit off the mark with that fatal strike.
And you know what?
Damn.
Solar Troll, happy to live to see another day.
I do think like Scarabs, like this shows they have the potential, man.
The Scarabs have not been able to find any.
They really did.
Those first couple of kills. They lose another tier 2. Looks like they'll finally get a tier 1 on left with this Phoenix on right is what is in charge and in sight for the Titans. They're trying to take it. Benji takes a lot of damage onto the bird. Falls back. The cage gets dropped by Solar Troll though, and that slows him down.
I mean, they don't even have a Phantom. They don't need it.
They don't care.
There's no threat of that cage, and there won't be threat for a long time. It's just too difficult right now for the Scarabs to be able to match Tartarus Titans in the damage output. And the front line for Benji, even though he's only level 17, probably feels pretty close to unkillable just because of where
That's just crazy.
the Scarabs backline are in their build rotation. I mean, Veronic has no percent pen yet, only on magic focus, so he's going to be pretty far from that Obsidian Shard. Stewart working on a Chinsai, but that's probably fairly far away. Yeah, he's only got 900 gold in hand, so he's pretty far from that. Meanwhile, you look across the way, I mean, 4th items are
What do you do?
completed for the Tartarus Titans and their back line, but they've also...
Who should target to kill?
They've spent an extra...
Lasse, Smackers.
There's a Fear No Evil.
Scream had to do a defensive ultimate.
It might not even be enough Scream. Yeah,
Moronic doesn't have enough damage.
but he loses the tier 2.
The team fight Odin and Jimoja can offer and like do.
Tier 2. They know they
Then they're not killing the front line. Like Benji is not dying.
now a mid Phoenix. Now all grouped up. The Scarabs are
Oh, didn't do enough damage on the inbound.
early. Benji doesn't get it on the inbound. Inbound gets a great Rivers
I mean, the slight missplit this fight. They might actually die, some of them.
He's got Paul. They've got layers.
His army is not there either.
To open things up, the Scarabs find one, but can they get a little bit
I mean, if they got
more?
left Phoenix, it's what they need anyways.
Down, Scream finally
I mean,
shuts him down. The
I might have gone a little bit too aggressive.
Got that left side Phoenix, but at least the Scarabs won the 5-on-4. This mid Phoenix still alive for now, but Cyclone's on the way.
Cyclone is there, he's owning.
Control just gone. Now the Phoenix follows up. It looks like the Titans won a little bit more. They're in a 3v4 under the.
Can they end 3v4? I don't know if that's gonna happen though.
The end right here, right now. They have to play this carefully.
I don't know if they end 3v4.
Inbound, but the damage isn't.
It would be fun if they did.
Healthy. They're gonna pull back.
I don't think they can do it.
What are they thinking right there? I mean, they've got 3 members, no wave. Benji the only tank, ambitious to say the least from the Tartarus Titans, but
I mean, that should feel good. They got double Phoenix, get ready for next Firedyne, whatever.
that's truthfully the only reason the Scarabs were able to win that skirmish. And it was
Nah, they have Wind Demon on this army.
but
And just having Wind Demon is enough to go Spectral.
take what the Titans are going to give you when you're in this type of game state.
I mean, honestly, as bad as it is for Scarabs,
But Cyclone just
that is the ideal scenario.
entire left side Phoenix by
You lose 2 Phoenixes, you still have 1 up. You can maybe steal a Firedyne, that's your hope.
I'll kill SOT.
If you don't steal Firedyne, you just lose the game.
And then they get and expand this gold lead with a gold fury up to 13,000. 22 minutes in. And this is where, look, the Scarabs, they have a lot. I mean, this is what we were saying in Game 3. A lot in order to find themselves in a favorable position. But they did get a couple of kills. If they separate,
She was building into it before Silencer.
even though it wasn't really on them for separating them. And there's going to be
It is just a typical build, getting Wind Demon with the build he has right now.
If you're Benji, you're
And then you get a Death Finger go in, and then you have insane objective DPS, but you also hyper carry against squishies. And then if the enemy team doesn't have Spectral, like they don't have on Jimoja right now, then they can kill him pretty fast.
But that Titan call, a little too soon for them. They're grouping up for this Fire Giant. They've got 30 seconds till it's back. 2 waves of fire minions. Scarabs got to defend. This is going to be scattered to the winds. But there's still an opening.
I mean, the Scarabs, they tried to defend on a fire earlier, remember, and it didn't end up working out, but understanding that that was their best option in a desperation moment. I wonder if they're going to make the exact same call.
What's the next move here?
They will this time around, and it's because of their itemization. I mean,
Do they give up Firedyne? Do they try and steal it with Janus ultimate? Do they try and run in and see if they can get something going?
what they're going to be trying to do.
If they run in
He's got 25
and they don't win the fight or steal Firedyne,
and
they probably get caught and all of them die.
so you won't be able to do that.
What risk are you willing to take here?
Gold in hand,
You probably have to give it up and hope you can defend right Phoenix.
Cider to get the next tier of his
You hope you get a fast fight going. You hope you get a pick or 2 so they can push. And then defend mid and left waves, and then you are happy.
just too much gold.
And if you look at targets, I mean, you gotta kill this Nami.
Scarabs for them to feel
If Izanami doesn't die here, I mean,
all in the name of
there's a GG happening then.
But he's I don't even know, maybe he'll get it from these. Yeah, he will. He only needs 50 XP. Okay, so he does hit 20 on the way back. And I think he should have enough gold for an item and his starter upgrade.
They're going to go ahead and pick that up. Defending the Phoenixes, name of the game right now.
No,
Both
Marcy.
mid and left are okay. Right, where the Titans have their eyes. But look at where Layers is. Look at Benji. They are immediately going for the zone. They've got Scream and Baronic and Soul Lord Troll pulled away from the Phoenix with the Minion Wave and Cyclone Spin. They should be able to engage right here.
Baronic going to try and find a big snipe.
They're going to Phoenix.
Needs to find a home.
Look at the mid wave going in. You have left waves kind of far away, so
Goes forward, only
Titans can just play it slow, but Benji is far in there, but he's taking no damage.
Another stun from
A Raw and Benji is taking no damage. That's tanking Phoenixes.
Now the Scarabs are not able to find the fight.
They can literally not kill him. That's all the ultimates down. It's over.
Goes down, and the Titans are pushing them back into the base.
Veronic does have that snipe. That's the only ultimate still left here for the Solar Scarabs, and that might be their only tool at all.
It's over.
Once again.
Titans take that one. Looks like left might be on the chopping block. They're trying to decide where they want to go. The Titan room is open, but they need a big...
Both Phoenixes. They get left all Phoenixes now.
No ults, save for that snipe from Veronic. Solo Patrol.
Soul almost dead.
Taken down, but he gets out.
I mean, the ultimates are down. They can just end here.
Away, and he has a 3rd HP, and he's going to be in the fountain, but it's not going to be enough.
Scream dead.
Finds the kill on the back foot, and now 4.
They get the left Phoenix with the fire wave. Put some Phoenix pressure. Or Titan pressure, I mean.
Looking for the damage they need. The Titans half health, but they're going to pull back. They're looking for...
Layers are just committing to Titan here and they can win. Oh, never mind. Get the kills. Get the kills.
The Layers find their kills. The Titans find their win, and they're going to the finals.
The clock finally strikes.
Damn.
Cinderella story for the Solar Scarabs. The Tartarus Titans fell in game 1, and they didn't stumble the rest of the way.
That's an interesting set.
Make it happen in the semifinals, and we'll be seeing them tomorrow in the grand finals.
And you have to, again, think about what this is for this team. Again, clean play. Favorites in this entire tournament because of how they got here. Of course, quite a few reigning world champs that exist on this roster. But I think Layers is the one that stands out to me just because of what he's been able to accomplish. This was a good turnaround for them. That game 1 was devastating. If they don't win game 2, I think we watch the Scarabs 3-0, but luckily they